Hey my you ladies and my you gents, I'm Steven Tocher, and today is the first ever Weigh-In Wednesday. Now I'm going to go all the way back in time, almost a year, to when I first had these feelings and inclinations and the first steps towards change, because now I'm a year into the future and I'm thinking I should probably be talking about the hardest time to kind of get yourself going, which is usually the first 35 days to 2 or 3 months. And getting on the horse is one thing, but staying on the horse and getting into a rhythm is the other thing. So that's kind of what I'm going to talk about, and then I'm going to move into the first 8 weeks. So from that historic day for myself from November 25th, I'll talk to you about the first 8 weeks and kind of what I was experiencing during that time. All right, so the couple months before I moved to November 25th, I was doing some things before that one main day. And the things I was doing was I was switching meals one at a time, or one meal at a time, I should say. So, for instance, I first started with oatmeal. Now, I talk about oatmeal all the time, but one thing I knew for sure was that I had no serious set breakfast for myself. I had nothing that I was satisfied with. I had nothing that made me feel good for the day, and I definitely had nothing that wasn't packed with sugar or simple carbohydrates. So I searched for a while online and finally found a few different types of oatmeals that would work for me, and I tried a whole bunch of different combos for the first month or so, and by I guess the middle of October, oatmeal was the first real change that I made. So I guess what I'm trying to get at with this is that it takes one step at a time. And in my case, because I'm a food-based person, like I just eat and eat and eat and eat no matter the emotion, I needed to change my meals and one at a time. So from there I moved to lunch, which moved to heavy amounts of vegetables and trying to get as much protein as possible. Now I was home for this because I used to work beyond 2 o'clock until like sometimes 7, sometimes 9, sometimes 12, depending on what I was doing that day. So I could prepare, good vegetables, salads, and stuff like that for myself. Then while I was at work, I was working with the youth. I just had a small snack, a very tiny snack. Sometimes it would only be a yogurt. Sometimes it would be only like one of those pre-packaged packages of cereal. When I came home, I had a nice heavy vegetable dinner with some fruits or a sandwich or some form of meat or curry and a pita bread so that I didn't have too many carbs at night. But again, it took me a while to get to that stage. Like I moved to lunch, then I moved to snack, then I moved to dinner. So that progressively took me about 2 months to switch up my diet to get me to where I was before, again, November 25th, when I started walking and all the keys really kind of started to fit into the locks, and all the locks kind of turned in all 3 times in my body, mind, and spirit. So I guess what I'm trying to get at is you're going to have to change something. Maybe it's exercise. Maybe it's going on for 5 minutes and then getting up 5 minutes earlier and 5 minutes earlier and 5 minutes earlier. Maybe and you're eating fantastically, or maybe it's your spirit. Maybe you have to do something. Maybe you have to get up and read your Bible or meditate or do something that in small increments that is going to get you to that level where you start making that real push and you start building something called myelin in your brain, which is something you repeat over and over and over again. All right, so now that that's done with, I just want to talk about the first 8 weeks. So from November 25th to basically the middle of January, when I wasn't really taking any photos, I have some photos here that I'll be showing you. There was a progression that was happening. And what was going on for myself was the idea of getting up to walk. It was easy for me to change the food after a while because I actually enjoyed the food I was eating. I felt healthy, and again, running around with the children or going back and forth to work became a lot easier. So that was pretty addictive to start eating healthy. But walking became a bit of a chore because so many times in my life I had started a physical routine but didn't want to continue it. And the reason why I spend the whole of season 1, and now I can look back as I'm in season 2, shooting season 2, as I look back into season 1, the walking was so key because walking is simple to do. All right, walking is something that just about anyone can do. Now, if you're in a wheelchair, and if it's formidable for you, maybe you can use your arms, go for a nice a roll outside, like if you're a person who maybe has a cane or a walker, the same basic thing applies. Maybe you're in an apartment building, maybe you can just walk inside the hallways of your building. Just try your best to do a movement that is going to help you throughout the day. And for myself, it was walking, because, you know, as human beings, we walk everywhere. And so I started walking, and I started increasing the walking. So I went from 15 to 20 to 30 to 40 minutes. Now, I remember distinctly there was some days where, because I started in November, end of November, it was really cold, where I wasn't too happy about getting bundled up. But I got up early enough, and I started going outside, and I started, you know, getting the crisp air into me. And even when I was a little bit sick, I'd still go out. And so during those 8 weeks, there were times when I completely wanted to quit. There was times when I was sick, and I said to myself, I'm never going to get through this. I'm never going to go beyond it, and I'm just going to cry myself to sleep again. But if you give yourself step-by-step attainable goals, I promise you, you can reach it. I promise you, you can get to that stage. I promise you that you can do certain things that most people around you will either be jealous of, will think you never could be able to do it, and or be completely completely lost for words by the amount of inner strength and integrity that you're showing. So between the changes in my meals, between the things I've already talked about in the first few videos, and just the walking in the first 8 weeks, I really set a tone for my body, mind, and spirit to be disciplined, to move forward. And really, that's when in about mid-January I started thinking about this series, and that's kind of why this is a prolonged video. It should have been done a long time ago, but I felt that I needed to share these things with yourselves, because I was there so many times before. I had said those famous words, I'm going to change. Tonight is the last night. Tomorrow will be better. You know, whether you're talking to the universe or to whoever you might be talking to, I was talking to God. I said, God, I'm going to change. And I never did. So you can do it. The first 8 weeks for me were crazy hectic, but I got through it. And I know you can too. So keep your head up, keep pushing really hard, and yeah, I have some more revealing pictures for the next Wednesday weigh-in, and that'll cover, I think, week 9 and week 10, and it's gonna progress from there. And I think you're really gonna enjoy this if you start from the beginning and move your way all the way for the 2-year the 2-year process and the 3-season process I'm going through. If you have any comments or questions, just drop them in the comments section below. If you want to check out the blog, which I'm updating consistently, as well as the website and anything else that might pertain to this video, check it out in the description. Thank you so much for watching. Have yourself a wonderful day, evening, morning, or night. God bless. Oh yeah, and if you like what I'm doing, please tweet, tumble, like, share, thumbs up, plus pin, or do whatever you do, and please subscribe.